Hey guys, a couple of days ago I published a video about how to make images responsive with CSS, but there is more to talk about images, which is about aligning them especially in the center of the page, because I know that this is a common difficulty for many people. So in today's video you are going to learn how to center an image horizontally and also vertically. But before we begin, if you want to receive more videos about CSS and web development, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Alright, let's begin with horizontal centering. One of the quickest ways to center an image horizontally is by using the text align property of CSS. However, this method only works if your image is inside a block level container, like a div for example. So let's put our image inside a div. And now when we assign a text align property to the parent element with a value of center, it moves every single child element under itself to the center of the page, unless the children are also block level. Another good way for centering an image horizontally is by using the margin auto property. However, using this method comes with some limitations. If you don't learn the rules first, you can't use this method properly. So first of all, an image element is an inline element. However, margin auto works only for block level elements. And if you don't know the difference between them, I have explained them in this video, so you can check it out later. So if we come here and directly assign a margin auto property, we see that nothing happens because our image is inline. So we need to change its display behavior from inline to block. So I come here and write display block. And this does the trick. Now our image has moved in the center. Block level elements take the full width of the space by default, and this means that there is not enough space for margins. So that's why we need to assign a width to our element or image which should be smaller than 100%, and so the image can position itself to the center of the page. The third and the more advanced way is the display flex property. Just like we used the text align for a container, we also need to assign the display flex for a container. So let's call our parent element again. And here I'm assigning a display flex property. And now for the alignment, the container must also have an additional property called justify content. And the value should be center. And now as we can see, our image is once again in the center of the page. One more thing to mention here is that the justify content property does not work alone. They should be together with the flex property. This is also a common mistake that some developers do. They try to use justify content by itself, and then it's not going to work. They should always be used together. Alright, now let's move on with vertical centering. The easier way for vertical centering is by using again the flex property. This time we need to write an additional property named align items, and the value should be center. Now here the thing is that for a vertical alignment, the parent element, the div, should have a defined height property. Let's say 1000 pixels. So it can work. Now as we can see, our image has moved to the center of its parent element vertically, and just like the justify content property, align items also does not work alone without flex. For some projects, using flexbox may not be suitable, so there is another way you can use, which is a bit longer, but I will explain it step by step. Firstly, normally every element has a default position of static, and we need to change our image's position from static to absolute. And also it should be inside a relatively positioned container. So let's do this. I'm defining here a position absolute. But to work it properly, our parent element should be relatively positioned. As the second step, you need to define top and left properties and assign them to 50%. Now what this is doing is that it takes the starting point of the image, the top left point, from here to the center of its parent element. But the second step has moved the image not exactly as we want, so there is a third step also we need to follow. And to do that, we need to define a transform property and assign it a value of a translate of minus 50% to its x and y axis. Okay, we are almost there, and finally, again, our parent element should have a defined height. I know this is a bit longer to do, but it does the trick. With 4 steps, this is a longer way. There are a lot of properties you need to use here. So that's why if you can do it, it's better to choose the flexbox way, and you should be able to center your images horizontally and vertically. If you find the video helpful, please hit the like button, and thank you guys for watching.